So, moving on, the search continues for missing people following devastating floods in KwaZulu-Natal. It's claimed the lives of over 430 people so far. Now, the damage to houses and infrastructure is estimated to be billions of rands. eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli is in Nanda, north of Durban. Lethiwe, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Talk to me about where you are right now, the devastation. And I know we had Premier Zikalala coming out saying, they need more than 1.9 billion rand to complete work to refurbish KZN in total. Is there any movement at the moment?
Well, this morning we're actually in Machobeni, where we're following the community that has been busy with the search and rescue operations. They started shortly after the floods about 3 weeks ago. They have been helping the teams that were deployed to the province to look and find those people that unfortunately were swept away by the floods. There is a number of people that still remain missing, and of course over 430 people have since died because of the floods. I'm now joined by Pastor Ntobeko Shabane, who's been very helpful in getting the community together and helping those families that are busy looking for their loved ones. Pastor, thank you so much for joining us at eNCA. Take us through your operations. How is it going so far?
Thank you very much, Lethiwe, and good morning to you. Well, we have continued with the search and recovery, rather, and where we had found an 8-year-old last week, we will continue. Unfortunately, it rains here in KZN every now and then. For example, yesterday we tried to mobilize the community and we had to stop due to rain because this place is still muddy. So even today we will continue and do that work. People are calling in to come and help us out.
I know that for now you don't have the essentials that you need in terms of equipment to look for people, and it's very hard nowadays to gather a crowd of people to help you out, because you were saying that a lot of people are feeling they are feeling devastated about what happened.
Well, our morals and spirits are down because of this. You know, when you really want something to get done and you cannot actually get there to get it done. And our first priority is to get the bodies out of the mud. So what we are trying to do is to get people to work, and when people come through, what I'm trying to say is that we thank the search and rescue teams, because they taught us about the safety precautions on site. But at the moment, what we are hoping and what we are using, it is just the smell of dead bodies. That's how we get to find them. For example, the child that we found last week, it was only because of the smell, and we work on that area until we retrieve the body. Well, with the essentials, we had to run to the clinic to get gloves and masks because of the heavy smell, and the tools, obviously we use our own shovels and spades to dig them out. Hopefully everything will come out okay. So we still have, I think that's a 5-year-old, or more or less a 5-year-old that we need to find, and then we also have a 3-month-old baby that we have to find. So since the sun is out today, we will continue and work until we get them out of that rubble.
As a community, what would you say you need to continue with your efforts?
Well, at the moment, we've been trying. We have ladies and neighbors who are helping us. They bring us lunch, but we cannot expect that, to happen every other day. Even I myself, I do sponsor, but you cannot sponsor every day a group of people of about 50 to 60 people, and I believe that is what we are in need of at the moment. If we could just donate some lunch, we don't need your 10-kilogram rice, potatoes, just cooked lunch, a pot of curry and rice, or putu and rice, and chicken curry. That will help us very much, because that is what we need at the moment for us to carry on. Our funds, sometimes we exhaust our funds trying to get people to eat. That's what we need.
And lastly, Pastor, You were talking to me about families going to mortuaries in Pinetown especially to identify their missing loved ones and the backlog that is currently taking place there. What have you seen?
Well, in our mortuaries, because of the backlog, I understand, but families who have experienced death in their families or family members, they want to identify any person who is brought in or any human remains which are brought in. But I think the issue that the government need to attend to, they need to address our people as they are sitting and waiting, because at some stages, as we recover people from the ground, they are not in a good condition, and I wouldn't suggest a family member to see their loved one in that condition. So I think they have the responsibility to tell the people that, we are here, we are still trying to clean up the remains. Please bear with us. Come back after 3 days, because people are coming back every day and waiting there for hours and no one addresses them. And the next thing, we are closing for the day. And then no one gets any information. And these people are under enormous stress and pain because of their loved ones, which might be at the mortuary. Some people are just going to check there, because when sometimes we recover bodies, we take them to the mortuary, and when someone wants to identify a loved one, they are hoping that it's their loved one which is in the mortuary. So that is the problem we are having now. If the government officials and people working at the mortuary, I understand the backlog for them too, but they could just address the community and tell them that, at this time, please bear with us, come back after 3 days once we have cleaned up the body and it's in a much better state for you to identify.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
That was Pastor Ntobeko Shabane. He is leading rescue operations. They are currently gathering as a community. I'm going to ask my colleague to show you some of the men that are slowly arriving. Of course, they are going to be looking for the missing people. On my right-hand side, there are a few men that are slowly arriving. Unfortunately, you can't see them as I'm speaking to you, but a group of about 20 people gather every day and they start those search and rescue operations.
I mean, it's really good to see the community working together there. Thank you so much, Lethiwe, for that reporting in KZN. Stay with us here on Newslink.